Good evening, this is Rodney with the Triton Wave updates for Thursday, August 2nd, 2012. Let's jump right in here and see what happened today in the daily. The overnight session was up like 300 or 400 points at one time, but it finished on the left-hand chart. It finished close to the lows of the day with a sell-off at the end of the day. Even though the T1 is firmly above zero and T2 is now the short wave on T2 is above zero. If you look at this pattern here of this high back in April and the high and approaching the high now, the short wave on T5 is still hovering at or below zero. It's like minus 2.18. To me, that's not a good sign. So, as long as this T1 is over zero, the bias is to the upside, but the wave on T1 is getting kind of peaky. So let's move over to the 21-minute chart on the right, and where I mentioned in several videos that on July 25th it moved above zero. The combined chart. Let me see if hang on 1 second. Okay, the combined chart. I'm sorry. The T1 goes above zero and T2 comes below zero, right at July 30th, which was 2 days ago. So, according to the waves, it should start selling off. Confirmation is that it hit its upward trend line at around 8:30, 8:50 in the morning on the 27th, and it's been trending down since then. So since T1 has gone below zero on the short and long wave of that, T2, expand this out a little bit, went below zero shortly after that. And probably on the opening tomorrow, that is going to be a negative number. It's 0.18. It'll be negative on the opening, which means that this may be a sell either overnight or from the get-go tomorrow. I fully expect this to come down to about 1350, which is about a 13-point drop from where it is. 13-point drop from where it is right now. If it's significant and it moves down rapidly, it may bounce a little bit, go sideways around the 377 and continue on down. So this may be the start of a minor sell-off, no matter what is going on in the daily, because the daily is very overextended, as you can see in the left-hand side. And it's already been up like 270, 225, 235, 250 points on the aftermarket, and now it's down to minus 25. So FOMC out of the way, it goes back to a normal rhythm. Okay, so I moved the 21-minute chart over to the left, and I made the right chart a 1597 tick chart for day traders. As you can see, this is where the day began at this hash mark at 8:30. As it goes, you can either follow this or follow a shorter term. I always look for the right tick chart. They're all Fibonacci sequences. So if the 1597 doesn't work, I go to the 987. If that doesn't work, I go to the 610 tick chart. So let's just look at them and see what would happen. If you got in here and got out here, it would kind of be a wash. And if you got in here and got out here, you would have made two or three points. So let's drop down to 987 and see if that's any better. Let me expand this out a little bit. Oops. A little bit more. Okay. That's not showing me anything too much better. So let's go down to the 610. These are for day traders. see what this is here. Okay, so for day traders, we can go back to, for day traders, the first move would have been, right, you don't want to use the really short one for day trading on the 610 because it has too many wave sequences that go above and below zero. So this is the first entry in the downside. Now, as long as on the left-hand chart you're below zero on T1 and T2, then you're going to be taking the short side on all of these trades. So let's do something a little bit different. Let's put 987. Let's put 1597 on the left and 610 on the right. So you can do a comparison here. Now at 835, this was selling at 1397. And when you're doing very, very short-term tick charts on day trading, it would be better just to go for, because they're going to go above and below. They're going to go above and below the 377 often. So 1397 at 835, and on T2 it came above it at I'm sorry, I missed the number here. 1379 to 1375. Or, as a rule of thumb, when you're using very short trades like this, take 2 points and get out. So if you took 2 points here, got back in here, this you actually wouldn't have gotten 2 points on. But this one, you would have gotten at least 2 points, from 77 down to 68. I'm going to do something a little bit different here. I'm going to make this a 987 on the left-hand side. So, but you can see if you use the let me see here, okay, the drop was right after the FOMC minutes, and it dropped from 1378. So if you're using a longer wave, if you're using T2 or T3 on a short tick chart, you can use the next level up to get out. So in other words, if you get in here when this drops completely below zero, you're at about 1376, and you use the very short one to get to cover it. Then you wait for the next one to come in, the next one on the short side, because 21 is below zero, was back here. You can play the upside, but you have to be very, very adept at it, and you have to watch it constantly. And make sure you have make sure you have your stops in place. So the next one would be when it was fully below, when T2 was fully below zero, was right here toward the end of the day, and then it made itself, and it climbed above zero actually after the close. So you would have been good into the close. Okay, got interrupted by a phone call, so I don't think I covered Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs on the left-hand side, T1, T2 is completely below zero. T3 is going to be below zero by tomorrow. And you can see the sell-off starting here on the right-hand chart on the 610 tick chart. Starts going below zero at about 10:30 this morning. T3 is below zero, completely below zero at 1450. Whoops, I'm sorry, that was yesterday. Today is, this was also yesterday. Okay, so T4 on the tick chart is now below zero. It's confirming, it's giving you a heads up on what's going to happen on the 21-minute chart. The daily chart is Even though the daily's looking okay, the immediate chart, like for short-term traders, doesn't look good, doesn't look as efficient. So this may just roll over and come down. This pattern of higher highs and higher lows looks a little bit like the stock market. So I'm thinking that that it's following the market and it may have the same pattern on the downside. Okay, taking a look at Baidu. On the left-hand chart, the daily chart is above zero, and today all of T1 went above zero. Let's look at the 21-minute. 21-minute is above zero today, and it's in line with the longer-term T5. On the shorter-term 610 chart, puts you at about 120 this morning when T1 goes above zero, and you can use, even though this is a short tick, this would be a short tick on the S&P, but as you can see, as I scroll across the 610 chart on the 21-minute, actually goes back to July 20th. So you can use the shorter term tick charts for daily entries. And this entry was actually at quarter to 3 Central Time yesterday, and confirmed it this morning, and it had a 3-point pop. So this could go up a little bit more. Okay, as I've noted in previous videos, Apple made its pop from 569 up to 615 in 3 days. It's in a bunch of resistance over here that goes back since the end of June. The T1 doesn't look too bad, but T2 and T3 is below zero. So as we move to the 21, these are really the trading devices. The other ones are just used for guides if you're trading it for like 6 or 8 months at a time. So T1 started to go below zero, and it looks like T5 is rolling over a little bit. Okay, so the 610 does not work on this. I used a 1597 on Apple. Apple was down 3 points. It was up 3 or 4 points during the day. Actually, nope, I'm sorry. Apple was up to 617. So the beginning of the day. So it made its move. It made its move yesterday, and then at the opening, in the open, it was up like 5 or 6 points. But it finished down 3. But you can make a note that as soon as on the 1597 tick chart, as soon as T3 crossed below zero, right at 611, Apple started selling off. Low point of the day was 603. That may continue into tomorrow if it follows the S&P. Okay, to review on MasterCard, as soon as T1 went below zero, I looked over the daily, and it's a matter of review because we've discussed this in previous videos. It's kind of choppy around T1. T2 and T3, T4 are all below zero. So this was a good short in here, or a put position at 436, and at some point today it hit 420 before it bounced, and then was actually down 937. T1 on the 21-minute is below zero. T2 is below. T3 by the opening tomorrow will be below. So MasterCard's coming down some more. I don't really have a target on it, but I'm thinking 404 before anything else happens, before any kind of a serious bounce. Okay, gold looked like it was going to go up. The T2 on the daily T2 on the daily was T1 was above zero, T2 moved above zero, and you saw this nice move in the congestion, but also a series of resistance points. Tops going back to June 4th, and resistance on the downside at about 158, 159. So if you move over to the right-hand chart to where the 21-minute is, it's showing the T, which is really a trading chart. The 21-minute and the tick charts you can use for trading. Use the daily as guides. So T2 goes below zero on 7/31 July 31st. Price is 157, which was the top of these lines on which was all the resistance for the exponential moving averages on the left-hand side, going all the way back, going back to May. So this kind of a move was expected. Target on this. Okay, since T1, T2, T3 is below zero, T4, let me see if that's below zero, is 007. That should be zero by tomorrow morning. That should be below zero by tomorrow morning. I think that's going to come down to about 152. We'll take a look at Google and then wrap it up for tonight. Okay, Google Daily, let's search this out. Google Daily actually doesn't look too bad. It came back up. This a descending line of tops right here I'm concerned about. And I'm also concerned on the upside that T1 is below zero, T2, T3 is... Okay, that went below zero on the last two candles of the day, so that does not look good. Let me bring that back. All right, let's go back to the ES one more time. We're up 75, we're up 50. Let's do, if you are trading this overnight, you can use the 610 tick chart, has nice entries. You can use the longer one. Let me use the, just to give you an overview. Okay, so the 1597 actually looks down from here. And if you're looking at the 21 by comparison, knowing that T2 is going to be below zero at the opening tomorrow, to me, this is a sell. Good luck trading, and I'll see you at the next update.